The developer of Animal Well, Billy Basso, recently hosted an AMA on Reddit where he went through and answered a bunch of players' questions about the game. If you don't have time to scroll through the whole thread, I got you. And you're not going to want to miss some of this stuff because we could possibly have a clue for a still unsolved puzzle. I'm keeping this video as spoiler-free as possible, so you should be able to enjoy it even if you haven't quite finished the game yet. First of all, Billy is doing well. I can't even begin to imagine how nerve-wracking launching a game must be, so it's great to hear that he's thriving. The game ended up being a much bigger hit than anticipated, which, come on, we already all knew that this would happen. Just look at it. But yeah, he's great and will hopefully be taking a well-earned vacation or something soon. If you've been wondering about future updates, all changes to the game will be necessary bug fixes. No new content or DLC will be added. But, and that's a big but, Billy has confirmed that he is 100% planning on making a new game and it will be set in the same universe. Now this has got my mind racing with possibilities, and knowing me, I'll most likely make a whole separate video on it. My biggest question though is, what is the rest of the Animal Well universe actually like? Because mostly we just see the inside of this pretty small well. What else is out there? Unsurprisingly, the community solved most of the game's hidden puzzles and deep secrets pretty quickly, much faster than Billy was expecting. However, not everything has been found just yet, and we know that for sure because has everything in animalwellbeenfoundyet.com still reads no. There are absolutely red herrings or false leads scattered around to distract us all, but the majority of secrets, especially the bigger stuff, has been found. But hey, this is a pretty dense game that's been in development for a long time, and even Billy doesn't remember everything he's put into it. Now, this is the big one that people have been picking apart. All the flowers scattered throughout the well. Allow the flowers to guide you. Now this could be complete baloney, another red herring if you will, but it also kind of seems like a message with a deeper meaning. Maybe we're all just searching too hard and the answer is actually out there in plain sight. But probably the biggest question mark right now is this room, which you're only able to access the right side of. Yes, I know you can get in there using illegitimate means, but is there an intended path, some hidden song or directions we need to find to get in there? No comment. You may have noticed Animal Well is full of animals. Some of them do behave pretty oddly, and that's because they're inspired by how these animals act in real life, which is pretty odd. For example, those terrifying noises the kangaroo makes, that's what they actually sound like. Billy has also confirmed again that the ghost dog is in fact a dog. Shout out to the people in the comments of my last video trying to correct me on that one. His favorite animal encounter in the game is the groundhog, and I like this one too. Very mysterious and also frustrating that there's seemingly no way to get this guy out of his den. Yes, I do know about this secret thing, but this is a spoiler-free video, alright? What else? We have this dog, which was actually based on Dan's dog, Noodle, who did the marketing and PR stuff for the game. The human, I mean, not the dog. And then we have this giant bat, which is one of the game's more terrifying encounters. Billy simply states that he likes the dark, which is very interesting wording indeed, because the only line of dialogue we get in the game comes from a toad who says pretty much the same thing word for word. Could they be connected somehow? Or is this another red herring? Now, how about this little guy? We may or may not be an animal, but we are a very specific thing, and no one has guessed exactly what that is yet. So for now, I'm just referring to them as the blob. And this actually ties into the lore of the game, which I just made a whole separate video on. Everything that was said in it is pure speculation since nothing has been confirmed or denied yet. But there is indeed official canon lore, which includes stuff that no one has figured out yet. And I think we'll never really know for sure, but maybe Billy's next game will give us a better look at this strange ecosystem and its formation. A good starting point comes from a comment by Dan, who made the well, which implies that, yeah, this place isn't natural, and all the secrets within it had to be placed deliberately. Very interesting things to think about here. There is no way to break the glass blocks, which rules out doing so to get into the secret room. I'd always hoped that we would be able to unlock some kind of tool or something to break the glass, but I guess that was a pretty far-fetched idea to begin with. If you're familiar with the floor is lava bunny, yeah, that solution that people came up with to find it, that's how it was intended to be done. So no, unfortunately there isn't an easier way. And out of all 12 tools in the game, Billy prefers the Slinky, which is a pretty interesting choice. He mentioned that designing the Slinky-specific puzzles was a ton of fun, and I have to agree that some of those puzzles do go pretty hard. But in terms of overall fun, I'd have to pick something like the top or the Frisbee. Maybe a tier list video incoming? Alright, there's a couple more sections before we wrap things up here. Billy mentioned Resident Evil being a big inspiration in the past, and the phone save system in particular was inspired by Persona 5 and Earthbound. And the game at large was heavily inspired by Super Mario 2, which has an enemy that chases you around whenever you pick up a key. Sound familiar? So according to this, Animal Well is Super Mario meets Resident Evil meets Persona 5 and Earthbound, I guess. And finally, there is an Animal Well Collector's Edition that'll be up for pre-order soon, but it only includes the PlayStation and Switch versions of the game. Maybe, hopefully, we'll get a separate map available for purchase because I'd love to see that thing in its full printed glory, but you can definitely count on some other merch in the future. T-shirts, plushies, and other stuff, to be specific. Billy might also release the soundtrack to the game, which could be some great ambient focus music. But if you want to chill out to the sounds of the well right now, Big Mo did upload a couple 1-hour videos for you to relax in. I wonder if either of them contains a secret. Probably not, but someone's probably already sat through them, combing over every frame, because that's just the kind of fan base this game has. Whatever secrets that are left will undoubtedly be found at some point, and I'll be right here reporting on it. So I'll see you all in the next video.